shut up.
Yeah, literally.
He's literally cheated on you so many times. Why do you want to be with him? He's a dog.
It's none of your business.
Right. Weird.
I really hate to say this because I don't know the people behind the scenes on the show, but if it walks like a duck, looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, must be a duck. How can we continue to have season after season this division amongst the islanders and nobody's doing anything, and it's actually getting worse, irregardless of the fact that we keep bringing in new people? That leads me to believe that because at one point people was very vocal about the division, people in the back, the super fans, have decided that let's continue to sort of fester this sort of division. That way we get more conversations, because I don't understand why the girls were attacking the bombshells. Make that make sense. How are you attacking Emma because Kai took off his pants and was walking around stark naked? How can you have more smoke for Emma than you have for the guy that you're in a couple with? How can you be more upset with Jade because you feel offended by Jotham? Make that make sense. I really don't understand it, and I'm here for Dylan sticking up for Jotham, because everybody could see that finally he had had enough and he really needed to speak his truth, and I'm happy that he spoke his truth and he came out looking way better irregardless of what happened in Casa, because Gabby is used to toxicity. She got a guy who didn't like toxicity, a guy who was non-confrontational, a guy who was always very honest with her, and she decided to mess that up. Now she's playing the victim. Make that make sense. And I can't wait for the new bombshell to come in, because Gabby's going to be scrambling. She should have behaved herself when Alex came in, but Alex saw through her. Now she's got no other options. Anyway, hey there. Thanks for stopping by, to girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island Australia, Season 7, Episode 24. So movie night continues. The Islanders pick P.S. I don't love you. I'm just like, oh my God, I wonder what's coming up. So first up, we get to see Jotham on his date with Mia. And he told Mia that I'm open to getting to know you, but I am in a very strong couple. So I just want that out there, that I'm in a very strong couple. I'm open to getting to know you. The possibility of me having my head turned is very unlikely. And it's like, okay. And then swing over to Gabby, who's telling, Alex, where have you been all my life? What? And it's like, girls, make it make sense. The way they were laughing and giggling and being giddy about it just shows you the double standard. And for them to sort of not see how that could be taken, for Gabby being the one that, set this sort of roller coaster that ended up in them breaking up, I don't get it. And I'm happy that Dylan spoke up for Jotham and said, Gabby, what you did was wrong at the end of the day. No, he kept offending me. He was with Lacey, and then he was with me, and then you came in as a bombshell. You didn't come in as an OG girl. He was already with Lacey when you walked in, and then you stole him from Lacey. Don't forget that bet. And when you stole him from Lacey, you and Lacey had this back and forth, and you're playing games. Lacey was just a game player like you, but unfortunately, she wasn't as skilled as Gabby. This is why she was called out, and she eventually was removed from the show. I'm happy that Jotham was able to see that his relationship with Gabby was toxic. For Gabby to sort of go after the girls, I don't get it. They call themselves girls, but you're attacking the same girls that you're supposed to be, friends with. Make it make sense. Even the sitting plan, you could see the division between the girls, and it's like, I don't understand it, and I don't understand why production is not calling these girls out to say this is not appropriate. Yes, they showed Casa, and they showed Jotham flirting with Jade, and then eventually making out with Jade. I think Jade is better, is more emotionally intelligent than Gabby. That's what I'm going to say. Because even when they were having this back and forth, the fact that she had Jotham's back, and she actually called it out and said, if Jotham had done half the things that Gabby did, everyone would be up in arms. And everybody in the villa could see the double standard. So the fact that the girls couldn't see it, I do not get it. They then moved on to Catch Mick If You Can. Mick is a menace. Mick gives me Reese 2.0 vibes. If you watched Reese's season, you know what I mean. In the sense that Mick is after anyone that will keep him safe in the villa. Mick came into the villa just to be on the show and to get clout, as far as I'm concerned. He didn't come there emotionally available to start anything with anyone, because I think he feels like the girls are beneath him. He's already says he prefers to date models. So I think he came here for the clout. They showed us Mick first coupling up, when he coupled up with, Yana, and then he eventually got the egg. Every girl has given them the egg. I think Yana, she gave him the egg the moment she started sort of scrambling when her ex Kai walked in, and it never sort of got back. They showed the clip of him speaking to, sadly, every clip he was speaking to Ross. So with Tamara, they showed obviously Mick got the ick from Tamara because of her hands that were tanned. And sadly for Mick, what happened is every clip he was saying something negative about the bombs, he was speaking to Ross. And I'm surprised nobody pulled Ross up that if Mick was telling you all this, why didn't you say anything to us? Because at least he should have, flagged it to the girls. Tamara seeing herself with her tanned hands make her look like an idiot. I think she really felt bad. This is why she was more upset. Not the fact that Mick didn't like her. I don't think that was the case. I think she was sad that she was shown on TV in a negative light, something she didn't expect to happen. And so maybe this is what made her upset. They showed Mick flirting with Mia, sort of using more or less the same lines and talking about he wanted her to pick him. And then he went on to Emma. Mick is not emotionally available. This is what I'm going to say. People like Boston know him, and this is why he didn't want to start a relationship on TV. I don't think he came to start a relationship, but I think he came to be on TV. I wouldn't be surprised if he said he was scouted by the show. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think someone would have applied to say, I want to go and find a girl on the show. It's highly unlikely. And then finally, we got to see Kai Hard. I don't get it. I don't get it, because what more does this girl need to see in order for her to realize that this guy is not it for her? Because they showed him in the hideaway with his little sock, and it's like, why? He looks like an idiot. He himself even said, oh, I look like a little worm. And it's like, so you sat there when everybody else wears boxes and you thought, let me go with a sock on, and you thought that was a genius idea. I feel like Kai and Yana were dating before, broke up, and then decided to come onto the show to get themselves more clout. I don't think they were in a relationship. I think they are now in a situationship whereby if they need a little scratch, they meet up, they scratch, and they keep it stepping. Because the idea that she then got to see him in Casa and how flirty he was in Casa, I do not get it, because we were shown alternating clips, of Yana saying, I'm setting boundaries. We need a pillow of wool. We need this, that, and the other. And then you'd go to Kai and see him making out with Emma. So for Yana to have more smoke for Emma than she does for Kai tells me that she was never serious about Kai. Yana was never serious about Kai. Yana and Kai came in with a plan to stay on the show for as long as they can. I don't think emotionally there's anything there. I think they're playing characters. I think they're two people that were in a previous relationship that broke down. And so eventually what they've decided is, if you have an itch, I'm happy to scratch your itch, but we're never going to be serious. Because looking at that, I don't think Kai would have ever done any of this if he really was emotionally invested in this girl. And for her to say, you're being tested, you're on camera, why would you do something? That tells you that she is there for the clout that comes with being on Love Island. And also, I feel like Yana is one of the meanest girls in the villa, but has been putting a smile on it, and she's been very quiet with it, unlike people like Gabby and Shan who are very vocal, and we've barely got to sort of recognize that up until she attacked Emma. That's my opinion, because she's just as bad as Isabel, she's just as bad as Gabby and Shan, but the difference is she's been putting a smile on it and pretending to be like she's not involved in whatever's going on with the other girls, that everybody else has overlooked how much of a mean girl she's been. And so I really hate the side of Yana that we got to see. And for her to attack this girl, there wasn't any need for it. There really wasn't any need for it. So movie night ends, and it's like we've only seen 4 lines. Make that make sense? What happened to the rest of the time? Anyway, you have the two bombshells, Jade and Emma, sit down and they have a conversation, and they're sort of questioning that why did Yana come for Emma? What has Emma done? She's a mug. She was actually told that this guy has cheated on you countless times, and you keep taking him back. Why is it? And it's like, I don't get it. I think it's more because she wants to be on TV, and maybe she's been promised that if you stay on, we will send you to Love Island Games. So she wants to break over to the American audience. Otherwise, there's no other reason for this. And I'm really sad that the bombshells feel like they have to sort of isolate themselves from the mean girls, and the mean girls run the rest of the villa. And no one is doing anything, because we saw the same habit with Boston and Mia. Now we're having the same habit take place. I wonder what they're going to do when the latest bombshell comes in, because Dylan seems very ecstatic about her, so I can't wait to see that mess. you have Kai and Yana sit down for a chat, and Yana is saying to Kai, I don't understand why you had to do what you did. You could have done without doing all that. That was unnecessary. That was embarrassing. How do you think my family is going to feel? How do you think your family is going to feel? And it's like, why are we sitting down and discussing as though we're talking about a grocery list? This man has humiliated you on national TV. Everyone is going to know every single thing that he's done countless times. You can't blame it on Emma because he did the same thing with Lacey. So why are you still with him unless the two of you are game players? That's the only thing I can think of, that they're playing a game and they're going to keep it going for as long as they can. Mick went to the terrace to have a conversation with Emma, and she was saying, seeing the switch up is crazy, because now I'm questioning whether when the next bombshell comes in, you're going to leave me, because it seems like every bombshell that's walked into the villa, you've just jumped ship. So I'm worried that now you're about to jump ship and move on to the next bombshell. For him to say, no, that was just then, I'm serious about you, I do not know. Mick is not emotionally available. He's giving Reese 2.0 vibes. So I think because he's seen how it's played out, he's going to stay with Emma until he's dumped or until the very end of the show. For everyone else to call him a game player, it's like, sit down. Yana, you're no different from Mick. You keep taking the same old vomit and eating it. So sit down. Yana then sat down with the girls and she was saying, oh, he was very sorry. He's very apologetic for his behavior. And it's how many more times can he apologize before you realize that who he is? This is who he is. And she said, I knew all this. He told me about it. It's just I look like a fool. And it's like, you don't look like a fool because you are accepting this. You are accepting this. You're telling him it's okay for him to do whatever he wants. So please take several seats. We're not going to buy it regardless of how much you want to sell it to us. We're not going to buy the fact that you're trying to tell us that, oh, this was a mistake. It just happened, but he never intended it. He did. Kai sat on the terrace with Dylan and Jotham, and you were saying, I'm so sorry. I've learned my lesson. And I'm going to work towards regaining her trust. No, he's not. No, he's not. If he can be this bad in the villa on camera, I can only imagine what he's going to do in the real world. God save us all. I can only imagine how terrible he's going to be. Emma was right to say once he gets a little bit of clout, it's going to be worse. And this is what I can foresee. He's going to be way worse than he is at the moment. Gabby sitting down for the conversation with Dylan was a bit, because for her to be upset that, oh, you defended Jotham, he defended the truth. He defended the truth. And for you not to see that, I don't get it. All the boys were coming after me. No, they were not. The boys were not coming after you. You made a mistake and the boys called you out for it. Own that. It's okay. You don't need to argue. You don't need to always be right in every situation. If you did something wrong and someone is trying to correct you, then you need to own that. Dylan said she was very emotionally immature. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. That we can own, that she is immature and she doesn't realize what she's done, and she's going to continue to behave that way until eventually, maybe when she watches herself on camera, she will suddenly change. You have Jotham and Jade sitting in the teepee and having a chat. And Jotham was saying, I'm happy we got to see all that with Gabby and I can peacefully move on, because to him, he's realized that his relationship was toxic. He doesn't want toxicity. He's ready to step. Jotham was devastated. Watching Shan saying all the nasty things she said, I think was an eye-opener for him, because he didn't expect it. He didn't expect her to be doing all that. So to see her and hear her criticize him and say all the nasty things was something that I think he wasn't expecting and something that took him aback. And for Shan to then go and sit down with Ross and not see where she went wrong, she is being selectively stupid. That's what I'm going to say. She's going to be selectively stupid, because for her to come in defensive and say, oh, I said all this when you're in a couple with Boston because I was upset. And I'm happy that Ross said Boston was justified in her anger and in what she said, because at the end of the day, I was emotionally unavailable because I was still exploring with you. So she's justified in what she said, but there's no justification for you. And the fact that you can't apologize is something that I can't get over. And it's like, I don't think she thinks she's wrong. I think she thinks she's right and she's the prize, and you are just there to sort of float in and just watch her do whatever she wants to do. And so it's going to take a lot for her to learn her lesson. And sadly, I don't think this is the opportunity for her. I'm happy that, Ross was able to vindicate Boston, because I think seeing all this, he now realizes that he made a mistake. He now realizes he made a mistake. He should have stayed with Boston. But at the time, I don't think he saw that. For Shan to then go and have a conversation with Gabby, they're just as bad as one another because they feed each other stupid. They don't encourage growth or development or accountability. They feed each other's nonsense, and they will stick to that. They then got a text for the Islanders to say, Islanders, please gather around the movie screen for a special screening. and they got to find out there were 2 new bombshells coming in. Dylan was excited. He was like a kid in a candy store. And he even said in his confessional that Gabby needs to be worried. I think Shan is going to make as much of an effort as possible to try and win the bombshell because she knows Ross is not coming back. I don't think Ross is coming back to her. I think if he stays with her, it's only until the show ends, and then he's going to keep it stepping. So I can't wait to see what happens. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Click on the link in my video to watch my review from episode 23. Bye guys.